Today I'm reviewing the PuffBox 3-piece. Hi Vapists, it's Darth Naga here again, bringing to you another episode of Full Steam Ahead. The review item I have today was given to me for the purpose of review by Steam Machine. I'll put a link to their website up there, steammachine.co.uk, and it retails for about £65. It's a 3D printed ABS box mod. Mech mod. Yeah, it's a box essentially, but it's circular, so it's more of a tube, I suppose. It's a 26650 mod, so let me just pull the back off. Got a nice little brand new metallic E-Fest in there. 26650 battery. I'll tell you what, let's have a look. Let's go down into a close-up. I can quickly show you the ins and outs of this thing, and then I'll come back up, give it a vape, and let you know what I think. Alright, okay. Let's go to the down view now. Okay, here we are in the down view, up close and personal with the PuffBox 3-piece. Now, first of all, I'll show you exactly why it's called the PuffBox 3-piece. As you can see, mine is serial number 35, and basically they call it the PuffBox 3-piece because it splits up into 3 pieces, essentially. Hold on. And let me take the battery out. There we go. So yeah, it essentially splits off into 3 pieces, which is the battery door, which is this. Then you've got the firing button assembly, and of course the actual housing itself. Very simple mod, straightforward, 3D printed, as you can see, and there's not a hell of a lot to say about it, apart from the fact that the design's pretty ergonomic. It fits quite nicely in the hand, and it's 3D printed, so it's really light. Even with the 26650 battery in there, it's actually really light. The 510 connection, as you can probably see there, it looks like brass with a copper firing pin. The copper pin is adjustable, so if you find your Etties don't fit or aren't making connection, you can of course alter that up and down using a flat-headed screwdriver. It's got a little well here, which is pretty good at catching juice should it drip out, and fits. I think it fits all my atomizers that I've used on it. The main one I've been using on it is the Limitless RDTA, which it fits quite nicely, as you can see, and looks pretty good when it's done. So now, while I'm in the up close, I think it's a good time to show you. Let me just take this off here for a second. Now, I'll talk about the positives when we go up top, but while I've got you in a close-up, I need to talk about the negatives, because in all fairness, there are a couple of bad points, which is annoying, because PuffBox are generally very well known for doing really high quality wooden mods and metal mods and other types of mods. They do like the Diablo, the Abaddon, the the PuffBox wooden mods as well. Really nice dual 18650 jobs. Just they're well known for doing really nice mods. It's a company based in the Philippines, and this is £65. Now, okay, the main problem I had when I first got it is this button here. You had to press it. If I can show you this way around, you literally had to press it dead center, like dead center and hard for it to actually fire. All right, you couldn't hold it like this and activate it with the edge of your thumb, or you couldn't hold it like that and just sort of lazily activate it with your knuckle. It had to be done like a direct press. Now, I personally found that quite uncomfortable when you want to just have a good vape and whatnot, and get it, just have a nice relaxed vape with it in your hand, fire. I mean, my Hell, for example, fires no problem when I use when I use my knuckle on the trigger, or I use my thumb. It fires no problem, as a lot of my mods do. They fire no problem when you just apply a little bit of pressure, bang. So I decided, well, if you can take the front off, then you must be able to do something about it. So I don't know if you can see this up close. Hopefully, there you go, focus. As you can see this here, this scratching here, right? Now this whole thing is like, it's all a copper strip, and inside it goes to copper contacts. Let me show you the inside quick. I don't know if I showed you the inside properly. Take this 26650 out. So you've got your so there's your copper negative, and up the top's your copper positive, or copper 510 connection, and then you've got your negative down there. So it's negative positive, right? So this is obviously adjustable from inside here. This is actually adjustable from the bottom, again using a flat head. If you find your 26650 rattles, then you can adjust this to actually tighten it up. But I personally found my 26650 fits beautifully, so I don't think many people will have any trouble with it at all. If you can see that there, so you've got a brass surrounding with a copper 510, and then you've got obviously same again in the bottom there, brass surrounds with a copper connection there. Makes a really nice snug fit. Now on to the point I was trying to make. So you've got your copper connections here. So this is a copper bar that just runs inside, connects to the minus and the positive, and all you do is bridge it with this. On the back of this button, you push the button, and I don't know if I'll be able to show you it. So you push the button, and the copper bit, see that? The copper bit pops out and bridges the connection. Now, when I first got this, both these sides were really dull, and slightly, sort of like this particular bit was slightly recessed. So I don't know whether that was having an effect on making the connection. So what I did was I gently got a screwdriver and very gently just popped that bit and that bit slightly up at the top there, because all it's held in by is a bit of glue. So I just gently bent these slightly up, and I scuffed them up with a flat blade screwdriver, and motherfucker, they now fire perfectly every time I press the button. Let me give you an example. So see, every time, doesn't matter what angle I push it at with what finger, doesn't matter, it fires. So yeah, I had to modify it myself. Now a lot of people won't see that as a major issue. I think if you're paying 65 quid for a mech mod, as nice as it is, I shouldn't have to make modifications for it to work, you see. A couple of the other things that I found really annoying actually is the magnets in these aren't held in by very strong glue. So I've had to glue in two of the ones on the front and 3 of the ones on the back, and currently actually, because I haven't gotten anything to it, so if you open this normally as so, see that there, let me show you that, see that here, that's a magnet, that's supposed to be in that fucking hole there. So you know, it's, don't get me wrong, oh shit, don't get me wrong, it's, you know, it's easily rectifiable by just putting a dab of super glue in there, and you put it in, because I've had to do that for all the others, because 3 of the others came out, these 3 here came out, and I had to glue them back in place to actually, so it wouldn't, you know, so I wouldn't lose it. So yeah, the magnets aren't particularly well stuck in. I suspect over time I'm possibly going to have to re-glue all the magnets in place. Aside from that, it's a fantastic mod. Just 2 niggles, obviously. The connection, the bar bit here with the button, and where the actual bridge is, where the switch is itself. Issue with that, as you saw, and just the issue with the magnets. That's about it, really. So I'll tell you what, let's go into the up view and we'll talk about the positives. So, and I'll give it a little vape and we'll go from there. Alright, sweet. Okay, back to the up view now. Okay, here we are back in the up view with the PuffBox 3-piece. Now, I mentioned the negatives in the up close just because it was easier to see them. Obviously, the missing magnets that get stuck to the door, which is really annoying. And I've had to do the same on the front part here with the magnets. A couple of them popped out and I had to re-glue those in place as well. So, for all its negatives, I'll be honest, I really like it. It's a really nice, because it's 26650 as well, it's a really nice hard hitting box mod. Because I'm not a big fan of the 3D printed style, but it fits really nicely in the hand, like just really nicely. And I like the fact that there's a side firing button as opposed to most mech mods which have a fire button on the bottom. I prefer the side firer. Being that it's ABS plastic, obviously it's extremely light. I've dropped this a few times and it's not broken or anything yet, so the plastic is quite tough. The downside to it feeling so light is it also feels a little bit cheap. And I think the price point's a little bit high at £65. But other people, purists, may go, no, that's amazing. There have been other 3D printed box mods. The Boxer was another 3D printed mod that people loved. And yet, to be honest, the build quality is pretty damn good. I'm not a fan of the 3D printed thing, but I do like this mod a lot. And the only thing that could do with a little bit more improvement is PuffBox's quality control, because when you're paying 65 quid for a mod PuffBox, you shouldn't be having to glue magnets back into place and you know, alter the copper connection on it slightly just so it actually makes a proper connection. So I'm sure all of them aren't exactly like mine. Some of them probably work absolutely fine straight out of the box. It doesn't come in a box, by the way. It comes in a bag with some bubble wrap around it. They don't come in a box. But yeah, I'm sure other people's ones, you know, your mileage may vary. I've had a few little teething issues with mine. I don't mind getting my hands dirty, so I've fixed all the issues myself, and you know, it performs like an absolute dream now. So I'm really pleased with it. Obviously, for all you newbie vapors out there, this being a mech mox, you have to know your battery safety and you have to understand Ohm's law. Because there's no variable wattage, variable voltage on this mech device, the only thing that controls how much voltage gets to your coil is the resistance of the coil itself. The battery will literally fire as high as the coil itself can handle. Whereas with a regulated device, you can up it and down it and, you know, adjust the fucking how long it takes to ramp up and all that sort of stuff. With this, it just literally dumps the battery into the atomizer and uses the resistance of the coils itself to judge how much electricity, voltage, etc. to pump in. So just be aware of that when buying one of these. You have to know your battery safety and your Ohm's law. Otherwise, just, you know, don't buy it. But for 65 quid, it's a tad overpriced. That's the RRP, so it's not just Steam Machine. It's you know, it's anywhere else you can get them. It is a tad overpriced. I think it's £65. I would probably have paid somewhere in the region of sort of $49.99 for it. Being that it is a mech, but a lot of mechs, genuine, you know, mechs are quite expensive anyway. So maybe £65 isn't a bad price point. I'm very new to the world of high-end mechs, so maybe £65 is a great price point. But to me, it seems expensive with the modifications I've had to make personally. Other than that, I just think that PuffBox's quality control needs a little bit more work to make sure that customers don't, you know, because other customers who aren't quite as savvy might not know to you know, rough up the copper connection on there and whatnot. All right, so yeah, my phone's ringing in the background. Absolutely brilliant device. Aside from the few teething issues I've had, this thing has not left my hand since I got it. So I do very much enjoy it. And if PuffBox, with their next 3D printed mod, if they can iron out a couple of the issues, slightly better quality control, then I think they've got an absolute stonking winner on their hands, especially since it's 26650 battery, so it's got a lot of power and it lasts for ages. Especially if you make the coils quite high resistance, then the battery lasts for ages, and it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, the PuffBox 3-piece is available from Steam Machine for the grand price of £65, and you can also go into their shop and buy it in person. And yeah, I'm quite happy with it. A couple of teething issues, but nothing that, you know, nothing that's like amazingly a pain in the arse. Would I buy it if I hadn't been sent one? At a lower price point, yes. I'd find it difficult for me to shell out £65 for this, considering it doesn't have VW, you know, considering it's not variable voltage, variable wattage, whatever, considering it's not regulated. I like my regulated mods, but this is slowly turning me on to mech mods, big star. Purely because they're just so fucking simple. Do you know what I mean? You push a button, it works. So as long as you've got the right build in there and your batteries rock good and you know your battery safety and all that, then they're absolutely fantastic. It's just push and go. There's no fucking about trying to find the best wattage, worrying about whether or not it'll burn and all that shit. At the end of the day, it just fires. So maybe 65 is a great price point. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I'm very happy with it. At a slightly lower price point, I would have bought it genuinely, because I think it's really, really nice. But yeah, nice mech mod, available from Steam Machine. Go grab one now if these are your sort of thing. Alrighty, okay, my little vapists. Until the next time we see each other, all that's left to say is toot toot, motherfuckers, toot toot.